What's going on, baseball fans? Jeremy Laracuente here for the Baseball Banter Broadcast. And on this video, we're going to be looking at 3 takeaways from the Yankees Astros ALCS Game 2. There's not a lot that went right for New York with this start to this ALCS. But we're going to look at 3 different things that I took away from the game. And we begin with number 1. First off, we got great pitching from both sides yesterday. Both the starters, Luis Severino and Framber Valdez, were absolutely brilliant on the mound. This was the kind of start you expected to see from them. When you look at what these 2 teams are in terms of the American League this season, these have been the best 2 teams. Now, when you look at the way that this series has played out, it was clear who the heavy favorites were and why. When you look at the way that even outside of the starters, when the bullpen came in, they were shut down. They were locked down. It was a very tightly contested ball game. And that leads me into my second takeaway. One mistake on each side is where the runs came from. A hanging pitch from Luis Severino that Alex Bregman put a very good swing on for a 3-run home run, and Framber Valdez inability to field one ball, giving himself 2 errors, gave the Yankees their 2 runs unearned. Outside of those mistakes, nothing else made it onto the scoreboard. And as I went back to, going back to point number 1, takeaway number 1, it was just a testament to great pitching on both sides. I think that when you look at what this series is and what it will be, what it can be, if New York can get itself together and get back into it, it is going to be a very entertaining series. I think that when you have the pitching staffs that both of these squads do, and yes, I do believe that the Yankees pitching is depleted. Their bullpen is a bit depleted. They've lost 3 of their biggest arms, their biggest weapons from the course of the season in Chad Green, Michael King, and Ron Marinaccio. But injuries happen to everyone. And seeing the way that this game went down yesterday, you saw just how talented both of these teams are. It literally was just one single mistake on both sides that really led to the entire score of the game. And when you look at what this series is in terms of the Yankees, right? This is the big bad wolf. This is the boogeyman. This is the detriment to your mental health. This is the detriment to your opportunity to advance in the World Series, to the World Series. And, I said it on a previous video, but I do believe that whoever wins from the American League side of things has the best opportunity, the best chance, and most likely will win the World Series, in my opinion. That's just how strong I believe that these 2 teams are. And that's not a knock on the Padres or the Phillies, because I think both of those teams are playing extremely well. And it's going to be a very interesting matchup. And the simple fact is that, to me, the American League contenders right now are just so much stronger in terms of what they're capable of doing. And you see that when you look at the Astros right now. And I think if the Yankees can get past the Astros, who have been their absolute bugaboo over the last, 6-7 years, dating back to 2015 when Dallas Keuchel just absolutely obliterated a very veteran Yankee lineup at the time. But 2017, 2019, it's been ongoing for the New York Yankees. But if they can get past the Astros, to me, there's no one that can stop them. And likewise for the Astros, if they get through the New York Yankees, to me, I just don't think that the Phillies or the Padres are strong enough to stop them. Now, the third and final takeaway from the Game 2 is that the Astros won. They now have a commanding 2-0 lead in the race to 4. 4 gives the Astros a date with the World Series. They're halfway there. 2 more wins for the Houston Astros allows them to get not only to the World Series, but in my opinion, would likely win it, as I do believe the American League contender will win the World Series this season. But when you look at what the Astros would be capable of doing if they get these next 2 victories, head on to the World Series and win, they can effectively, completely, and utterly squash the 2017 sign stealing scandal. By winning the World Series this year, the Astros can completely and utterly validate themselves as a legitimate contender, as a legitimate World Series contender each and every single year. Because with all the scrutiny that they've been under over the last several years because of that scandal in 2017, there's been a lot of talk, a lot of negativity, a lot of hate headed their way because of it, and rightfully so. Because when you cheat in that manner, you cheat the game. And that's really where it bothers so many fan bases. Because if it was just a situation where it only affected one aspect, one team, one thing, but it affects the whole sport, it puts a black mark, it puts a negative cloud, a dark cloud over the sport as a whole. We had the Black Sox scandal of 1919 and the 2017 sign stealing scandal was so much worse. So now, if the Astros are capable of defeating the New York Yankees, heading to the World Series, winning that series, which I don't think will be an easy thing to do, because I do think that both the Padres and the Phillies are legitimate contenders. But I think that the Astros could be that much stronger and allow themselves to win and completely erase the scandal as best they can, because it'll never completely go away because of what was done. But if the Astros win the World Series this season, they effectively squash all connotations of their cheating in 2017, because they have legitimately won the title, at least as far as we know, in 2022. So it'll be interesting to see how the New York Yankees respond, how they bounce back, going back to the Bronx, where they have predominantly had a much better time of things this season and over the last several years. The ballpark in Houston, Minute Maid Park, has been an absolute albatross for the New York Yankees. It has been a black hole. They have lost 8 of 9 postseason contests, I believe it is, in Minute Maid. So heading back to the Bronx gives the Yankees their best opportunity. But in reality, the Yankees are going to have to run the table in New York if they're going to want an opportunity to advance. And that's a tall order. That's a very, very tall order for the Yankees. They're going to have to run the table in New York, sweep all 3 games, and head back to Houston to try to scratch and claw their way to 1 victory if they're going to have a chance. It's not impossible. We've seen them do it before, where they were able to take all 3 games against essentially these very same Astros. But it's a very different squad now on both sides. And it's going to be interesting to see exactly how this shakes out for both the Yankees and the Astros heading back to the Bronx on Saturday night. But I want to hear from you guys. Let me know your thoughts, your feelings on this down in the comment section below. Yankee fans, how are you feeling now being down 0-2 in this best of 7 series? Astros fans, how confident are you feeling right now being up 2-0 as you head into the Bronx for this best of 7 series? Let me know those thoughts, those feelings down in the comment section below. And you can find me over on Twitter at banter_baseball if you want to keep the conversation rolling beyond that. As always, keep it locked in to our entire GLMG family with We Sibs and the Granite Geek Show, our sister channels, as well as your favorite baseball channel here, the Baseball Banter Broadcast, by hitting the subscribe button on all 3 channels. For sticking around to this point, I want to offer you guys a opportunity to take advantage with our new partner, Lids. If you click the link down in the description, the show notes below, you can use the promo code LIDS25 to save 25% off your order. you want more merch from the Baseball Banter Broadcast, head over to baseballbanterbroadcast.com and you can use the promo code JUDGE4MVP to save 10% off your order. Keep it locked in all postseason as we continue to look and examine each and every game throughout both the National and American League Championship Series, as well as the latest news, notes, and my personal thoughts, theories, and opinions on the game of Major League Baseball. Peace.